Cutting window mounts. Candidates must be able to produce window mounts with no undercutting, overcutting or hooking. Window apertures must be cut accurately to within 1 mm of the required size. The outer perimeter of window mounts must be accurately cut. Candidates will not be examined on cutting ovals, fancy corners, etc. All mount cutters require the use of a slip mat. This can be an offcut of mount board or a silicon-type mat that is placed under the mount being cut so that the tip of the blade sinks into it. Without a slip mat, it will be hard to create a cleanly cut window aperture. Blades should be changed regularly. If hand cutting a mount, the first signs of a blade becoming blunt are a slight crushed appearance at the start of the beveled edge and the extra effort in pulling or pushing the cutting head of the mount cutter. Double and multiple mounts. Double and multiple mounts help to distance the artwork from the glazing. Figure 20. This function is particularly useful in the case of original artwork with migrant pigments such as pastels and chalk drawings. Without multiple mounts or spacers, the pigments could migrate to the glass. The distance which lower mounts project beyond the top mount is a question of taste and design, though a reveal of 5 mm on all four sides is common. Most framers use the same width of reveal for each layer in a multiple mount, though this too is a matter of design. When cutting multi-layer mounts on a CMC, the outside edges of each layer of window mount are cut to the same size. When cutting by hand, the top mount becomes the edge guide and the secondary mounts will need to be cut fractionally smaller. Multi-aperture mounts. Measuring and cutting these is straightforward if, for example, 3 photographs of the same size are to be framed. If artworks are of varying sizes, a little more thought is required. Figure 21. There are no hard and fast rules for working out window mount proportions. It is largely a matter of personal taste. Start by laying out the pieces of artwork and arranging them in various formations until you and your customer are happy. However, it generally looks best if the space between the apertures is narrower than the outer borders. Spaces between apertures should not be so narrow that there is a risk of their being torn or damaged. Remember, when drawing out a non-symmetrical arrangement of apertures, that it should be a mirror image on the back. When cutting by hand, the aperture positions need to be carefully drawn on the back of the mount board before cutting. Considerable concentration is necessary to ensure that all the beveled edges are cut sloping the right way. Mount cutter automatic stops cannot usually be used on multi-aperture mounts.